All right, everybody, just going to give it a couple more moments to let everyone get in. I was about to go to bed. I was about to fall asleep. I was working on the dumb decisions on Raheem Morris. The script is pretty much done for that one. It's almost done. So I was ready to get that video recorded and then fall asleep and then get the rest up, get the video up later today in the afternoon. And then this broke. So we're going to talk for about 30 minutes about the recent development out in New York. Obviously, earlier this week, the Giants fired Brian Daboll as their head coach, and they promoted Mike Kafka to the interim head coaching position. And 48 hours later, we have a new starting quarterback in New York. Obviously, Jackson Dart, concussion issues, likely not going to play this week in their game against the Green Bay Packers. And Russell Wilson was the backup quarterback. Obviously started the season with the Giants. He was a starter for week 1 and got benched for Jackson Dart. And now he's been benched a second time, as Russell Wilson has been benched for the former first overall pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, Jameis Winston. Appreciate all you guys tuning in for this emergency live stream. It is 5:45 in the morning where I am right now, 4:45 on the West Coast. But Jameis Winston named the starting quarterback for the New York Giants. Russell Wilson has officially been benched for their game against the Green Bay Packers. Us Bucs fans try to tell Falcons fans you won't remember the game there. No, you will not. No, you will not. I'm not even remotely surprised. Russell Wilson came into the game last time out against the Bears when Jackson Dart got injured and did not play well. 3 for 7, took 2 sacks. We saw him play in that game against... We saw him play earlier in the season against the Eagles when Dart was sidelined for a little bit, threw a pass right into the ground. He is completely cooked at this point. Russ has had one good game this season. Ever since that game against the Cowboys, against Eberflus's defense, his last 4 appearances for the Giants have been really, really poor. No touchdowns, 2 receptions. The bakery is back. Yep, the bakery is back. What happened? The Giants and interim head coach Mike Kafka have officially named Jameis Winston the starting quarterback over Russell Wilson. So when Dart becomes healthy again, Winston will be the number 2. And Russ, you figure he could be done. Oh, I didn't know that say. That's cool. Why want to play behind one of the worst team in the NFL, barring maybe the Titans? Yeah. Jameis box of chocolates, I don't know what we're going to get. Yeah, at least it's better than Russell Wilson right now. Russell Wilson is not a box of chocolates. Russell Wilson is, right now, a box of expired fruit. Yeah, Russ is done. He needs to retire. I'm with you on that one. I'm with you. He, or one day with Seattle, yeah. 10 days are NBA, but one day is NFL. Russ retiring? I think he will. He played himself out of the Hall of Fame. I agree. He played himself out of the Hall of Fame. Again, Jackson Dart has not been benched. Jackson Dart just has a concussion. He's not going to play against the Packers. So Winston will become the number 2 quarterback once Dart becomes healthy. Obviously, this is not a benching of Dart. This is just Russell Wilson was completely and utterly unplayable. Had a 10-point lead when he came in for Dart and did absolutely nothing. Had about 32 net passing yards on 9 attempts. It was rough. It was really rough. The offense could not move the ball whatsoever going down there. Yeah, played like crap for the last 4 years. Yes, he did. What are the students doing today? We're doing Buffalo against Central Michigan at 7 o'clock Eastern time, and we are going to be live for the Hawaii game at 11:59 at night, so midnight. We'll be live at midnight for that. He needs to be retired. He's gotten significantly worse. Yes. He has not been the same in the slightest bit. He has gotten worse and worse as the years have gone on. Probably part of why Daboll got canned is him downplaying concussions. There's a lot of reasons why. That definitely did not help the whole medical tent fiasco. And the fact that Dart was very clearly concussed, and it took him a solid 8 minutes to get benched. Giants are a mess right now, and I'm all for it. Yeah, I think a lot of division rivals are. Russell Wilson fans, too. His stint in Denver, the way he acted, not just the corniness, but also the having his own locker or his own office. It is that Shane gets to make the call next coach. Yep, it's a bad situation. Because I don't know what coach is going to want to come to the Giants in 26 potentially, because the GM is pretty much a lame duck. If the Giants don't do well in 26, he's going to get fired. And then the new GM is going to want his own coach. So if he's tied to a coach, you're not going to get a good GM in 27. The cycle continues. It's bad. Thoughts on Nico Harrison getting fired? He had to. He had to get fired. He was so bad. Obviously made the worst trade of all time. He's got to get fired. Russ, he's not making the Hall of Fame. No. He had a shot to make it, but the last 4 years he's played himself out completely. Yeah, it's a big pool for you to make the call. It's awesome. It's awesome. Who's the Arkansas State game on the 20th? That's a Thursday, so I'm not doing that one. Oh, good, JP. Appreciate you, man. Giants and Commanders, the worst team in the East. I would say the Commanders are worse. Right now, I'd say the Commanders are the worst team. But yeah, if you're just joining us on this Wednesday morning, happy hump day. It is not even 8 o'clock on the East Coast where I am in Phoenix. It is still dark outside. I was about to go to bed. Yeah, Nico Harrison got axed. Yeah, next coach get fired, I would guess Stefanski. I would think Stefanski. No, the coach of the Mavs didn't get fired. Nico Harrison, the general manager, got fired. Coach didn't get fired. Yeah, Russ is done for next year. Go to the Jets, Arizona, the last stop to retirement. Or he'll complete the clickbait tour. Or he'll go to Green Bay or Dallas and just complete the clickbait tour. A Giants coach should make it non-negotiable that Shane's fired. Yeah, well, probably say you won't have a lot of leverage. I mean, the Jaguars tried that in 2022. Byron Leftwich tried that. He was like, I want Trent Baalke fired. It's like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Plus, since they called him out of the building, we one of the worst franchises in sports because none of the coaches since have even been mediocre. You are not wrong there. Thank you, sir. Maybe say my fantasy season. Which SEC teams make the playoffs? A&M, Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss, and one of either Texas or Oklahoma. It's going to be 5. Yeah, we're going to go live on Black Monday. Yep. We always go live Black Monday, so we're going to go live then. I would say I'll go Oklahoma, actually, because I think Texas will lose to A&M and they'll lose to Georgia. So, I think 5 SEC teams make it. And Oklahoma's 5th. Famous Jameis rides again. Yep, you just joined us to breaking news. The New York Giants have named Jameis Winston the starting quarterback for the game against the Packers. Jackson Dart injured, and when Dart comes back, obviously Dart will still be the starter, but Winston will take over the number 2 spot. Murdoch pretty good library. Gotta check him out tonight. Gotta check him out. Yeah, Thomas Restaurant's Laurel. Stefanski's living on Wildcard for 5 years. Yeah, Black Monday is the day after Week 18. So, January, whatever that is. Frankly, I think Virginia Tech. Was it January 5th? Yeah, January 5th. If A-Ron gets Sim Ruskinson, decide. No. A-Ron won 4 MVPs. Was I expecting live stream this time? Yeah, neither was I. Aaron Rodgers won 4 MVPs. Aaron Rodgers is a first ballot Hall of Famer. It'll take all of 5 seconds to decide. James get back to start. You never know what you're going to get. He can be good. In theory, he can be good. I don't do emergency live streams for NBA. In theory, he can be good, but he does turn it over a lot, but he can push the ball down the field. At least he can be accurate versus Russ, who is completely cooked. Russ is completely cooked at this point. Russell Wilson has had 1 game this season where he looked like a competent quarterback. That was against Matt Eberflus's defense. Other than that, he's looked like crap. Hawaii mentioned I want to give a shout out to the Local Stadium since it's getting demolished. Always enjoy that bowl game on Christmas. Yep, we always go live for the Hawaii Bowl. Christmas Eve, it's always a fun tradition to watch the Hawaii Bowl. I love it. And hopefully the new stadium, I mean, it looks cool. It's going to be on the smaller side, which I'm surprised by, but it looks cool. Hopefully they get it built quickly. I know Hawaii construction time's a little bit odd because Hawaii, everything moves at a snail's pace there. But if you're just joining us in breaking news, Jameis Winston, the new starting quarterback, Winston, the first overall pick in the 2015 NFL Draft with the Giants. It's now his 4th different team in the NFL. Last year played for the Browns and had his moments. Obviously, the Monday night game against the Broncos definitely looked sharp, but also looked erratic. 3 picks, 4 touchdowns, nearly 500 yards passing. He's had his games where he's stunk, has games where he's good. You never know what you're going to get. Oh, Geno's not good. No, Geno's not a good quarterback. No, Geno has fallen off completely. Maybe new Geno for the Mavs? Yeah, could be. Could be. I said before, the dumb factor is strong. Well, I think this is a dumb move. You could not play Russ. I don't think Brady's taking a college job. I don't know. It's a whole different ballgame in college in terms of year-round recruiting and NIL. It's a whole different ballgame. But this move is not dumb. The Giants made a lot of dumb moves this season. This one is not dumb. Russell Wilson is unplayable. At this point, he is unplayable. We saw when he came in for 1 play against the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. We saw him just bounce pass a throw. Then we saw him come in with a 10-point lead against the Bears due to injury. Why has Wilson Benson has not been playing well? Because he's basically unplayable at this point. We saw Russ come in after the injury to Dart, and when Russ came in, he came in the 4th quarter, And on the 4 drives that Russ had in the fourth quarter, the Giants got a grand total of 0 points. He started, like, on the 3 drives he started. We'll say Russell Wilson in that game against the Bears, 3 for 7, 45 yards passing. But as bad as that is, plus the 2 sacks, I think Larry, I think touchdown. That's not a hot take. I think right now Stafford's playing MVP level. But if you look at the Giants-Bears game, again, 3 for 7, 45 yards. 41 of those yards were one pass to Devin Singletary for a 41-yard gain. It was not like a quarterback play at all. The 41-yard gain that he had, like, the numbers are very, very inflated. I will show you the 41-yard pass he had, just to give you an idea. A tank bull, yep. It's not a tank bull move. No, this is the right move. How long we start out for? At least this week. I don't know how long with the concussions. Yeah, Crooks is rusty to call it a career. So again, Russ last game against the Bears when he came in for the injured dart, holding on to the lead, 3 for 7, 45 yards. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's not terrible. This was one of the plays, okay? This play, I can't show the full thing. This play got 41 yards. So this play, passed behind the line of scrimmage on 3rd down, got 41 yards. So if you take that play out, which was obviously not Russell Wilson doing anything, that was just Singletary making a few men miss behind the line of scrimmage. Russ went 2 for 6 in that game with 4 yards passing, not counting the sacks he took. You count the sacks he took, negative 9 yards passing. So take out the 41-yard pass to Singletary, which was a ball in the flat behind the line of scrimmage, and Russell Wilson in the fourth quarter, trying to hold on to a lead, had negative net yards passing with a below 50% completion percentage. Plus that bounce pass against Philly, plus the game against the Chiefs where he got benched. I mean, he has not been good. He cannot push the ball down the field. He has not been accurate. He is not what he was in Seattle or even Pittsburgh last year. He is completely cooked. This had to be done. Not saying Winston's going to be any good. Obviously, he's very erratic. Winston, you never know what you're going to get. He'll make some throws where you're like, this guy is great. And then he'll make some throws where you're like, I don't know what he's looking at. Winston might be the best quarterback right now. He can't possibly be worse. No, he cannot be. No, right now, Russ is unplayable. Hawaii reference was the Aloha Bowl and Chris ABC. Oh, yeah. The Aloha, yes, the Aloha Bowl and they used to do like back-to-back bowl games, a doubleheader, yes. We all better net yards than Russ, yes. Wilson's Hall of great player? Yeah, no, he's not Hall of Fame. Hall of very good. Yeah, he's definitely, he's got a case, but I think he needed to keep it up, if that makes sense. I think Russ needed to, problems with the Pro Bowls. No player with 10 or more Pro Bowls has not made the Hall of Fame. But Pro Bowl doesn't mean what it used to. It just does not mean what it used to, obviously. And I would have a hard time putting, if you put Russ in, he's very clearly the worst quarterback to be in the Hall of Fame. It is Jameis time. Let's go. There you go. Crab leg season. It is crab leg season. Again, if you like what you see, folks, hit the like button, subscribe. Really just helps out on the channel. You're just joining us. The breaking news this morning out of East Rutherford at 8 a.m. is that Jameis Winston is the new starting quarterback. And when Dart becomes healthy again, Winston will become QB2. Russ is QB3. It might signal the end of his career. Nick Mangold should be Hall of Famer, yes. Nick Mangold was, for my money, the best center of the 21st century. I know it's high praise, but not counting Kelsey. Actually, not counting Kelsey. Besides Jason Kelsey, Nick Mangold is the best center of the 21st century, in my mind. Like, he was a baller. He should be in the Hall of Fame. Russ had success with everything being said specifically for him. Yes. Yes, he did. And again, Russ this season, it just has not worked out. The Cowboy game, he looked good. That moon ball he had, obviously great. The OT pick was a disaster. These pregame speeches going to feed generations. Oh, I can't wait for the pregame speech. They better mic that bad boy up. If they don't mic that bad boy up, NFL Films has failed in some capacity. Fox has failed in some capacity if they don't mic that speech up. Obviously, if you look at Russ, ever since OT of the Cowboys game, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. It has not been pretty in the slightest bit. The white throwbacks, they've worn the throwbacks, 3 weeks in a row now? I mean, they're better uniforms. They should just switch the throwbacks full time. Burrow trying to rush back to play against the Ravens? I wouldn't do it. I would not do it. Burrow rushing back against the Ravens? Don't risk it. You're not going anywhere this year. Don't risk it. Pre-work on the consistency change that center take, yeah. For us getting, we look worse than Hall of Fame than Namath? Oh, 100%. Namath was in a different era. You have to remember, Namath was the first 4,000-yard passer. He was in a very different era. He changed the game in a lot of ways. Russell Ken Anderson, easily Ken Anderson. Ken Anderson is the best quarterback now in the Hall of Fame. Not counting guys that aren't eligible yet. Like, obviously, Tom Brady's going to get in the Hall of Fame. Drew Brees getting in the Hall of Fame. Obviously, like, Mahomes will be in. But, like, Ken Anderson is the best quarterback that is not in the Hall of Fame. It is a shame that he's not in. He's got the MVP. He was one of the best quarterbacks of the entire 1970s and the early 80s. Ken Anderson is a Hall of Famer. In my mind, he is a Hall of Famer. And they better put him in before he dies. I think the Packers, Winston's going to torch him. I mean, we've seen backup quarterbacks against the Packers. You might remember 2 years ago, the Giants had Tommy DeVito start against the Packers on Monday Night Football. Yes, started dumpster fire, absolutely. Although, to be fair, they were not dumpster fire back then. To be fair, like, they had guys. DeBrickashaw, Darrelle Revis made a couple of AFC championships. Right, Ravens, Bills, Ravens back-to-back, and Burbush was back getting injured again. Yeah, I wouldn't take the chance. I don't think you're making the playoffs this year. I would not take the chance. And for what? Like, you're not competing this year. It's not worth it to be out for 26, potentially, if something catastrophic happens. And if you're just joining us, breaking news. Mike Kafka, the interim coach of the Giants, promoting Jameis Winston to the number 2 spot. We're going to talk about this for a little bit longer. Right, he may not make the Hall of Fame and clone himself. That is true. Would the eligibility restart? Does the timer restart if you get cloned? I actually don't know. I don't think that's ever come up. But yeah, we'll have a new video dropping later today. With Dable Gun, will they cut down the quarterback runs by Dart when he returns? They might. Yeah, they might just tell Dart to just be smarter, slide a little bit more. Wilson retires? I think yes. At this point, he's cooked. At this point, I don't know who would take him. He'll finish out the season, but I think at this point, he's completely cooked. I mean, the accuracy is not there. We saw the Eagles game. Again, it was one pass, but it was a bounce pass. The Giants-Bears game, 3 for 7, 45 yards, 2 sacks, really 32 net passing yards, but one of those passes, a 41-yard pass to a running back behind the line of scrimmage. That wasn't him. He can't push it down the field. He's cooked at this point. Firing Dable was a good move. Yes, you had to do it. You had to fire Dable. But you had to fire Shane as well. The fact you don't fire Shane, it's now revolving door to half measure. Shane has not done anything to warrant staying. And if Shane doesn't do well in 26, he'll get fired. And then the new GM is going to be tied to a new coach that he doesn't want, or going to fire that coach. So I don't know who you're going to get. You have a very good vacancy in New York if you fire Shane. If you don't fire Shane, you're basically on a 1-year contract as a coach. So Alexander said, wait for football. He's cooked at this point. He is completely cooked. Oh, you're not wrong, Bogloud. You are not wrong the slightest bit. You are not wrong at all. I don't think it's borderline at this point. I don't think it's borderline. If he wins MVP this year, or the Rams make the Super Bowl, he's in. It's not borderline. When I think borderline, I think like 25%. It's 50-50 right now. Stafford has elevated himself. And if he wins MVP, and he's got a very good case to do so. He's thrown, 20 touchdowns, no picks the last 7 weeks. He's been phenomenal. He wins an MVP, he's in. Easily. MVP plus a ring, you're in. Plus 400 touchdown passes, plus all the yards, 100%. Stafford's in if he wins MVP or makes the Super Bowl. Maybe the Saints, if they can't get Ty Simpson. I don't think Russ is going to take anyone. I don't think anyone's going to take Russ. Sierra will take him? Yes, Sierra will take him. We have to have what are your thoughts on Marino as a studio analyst? I thought it was fine. I thought Marino was actually pretty solid as a studio analyst. I like that old CBS NFL Today crew when it was Cower before he was a grumpy old man, Sharp, Marino. I thought that was a very good crew. I like Marino. Good morning, have the Grand Slam Mia. Oh, Russell Wilson bench. Okay, let me have a Grand Slam Denny. There you go. Suns so far, I've been pleasantly surprised. I need Jalen Green to come back, though. Jalen Green being out sucks, but 6-5 is way better than I thought they'd be. I thought they'd be like 3-8, 4-7 at this point. They are a young team, and they're playing hard. They don't die when they are their backs are against the wall. I don't think they're good. I don't think they're going to be that good this year, but they're exceeding expectations so far. I think Staff's off him regardless. He's close. He's close. Yeah, once again, I'm the one to tell you the news first. Yep, emergency live streams. Yep. Said Jameis, who starts? How's Drew not bench it? That's a great question. I have no idea. When the Jets bench Fields? Well, Aaron Glenn, he never announces starters. It makes no sense. Aaron Glenn doesn't do anything in terms of announcing starters. He's just been playing chicken with the media. Stafford should win MVP and the Rams reach the Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, if that happens, I mean, he's a lock. Stafford's got a case right now. He's got a case, but I think by the end of the season, he'll have a really good case. Yeah, so obviously Jackson Dart's going to start once he gets healthy again. Bakery's open again. There you go. I agree with Captain's decision to go back with Winston, but the Giants need Dart back in the worst way. I agree. Obviously, Dart is still the starting quarterback. Jackson Dart will be starting for the Giants once he's healthy. Obviously, it's his team going forward. He's the guy in New York. But he is out with a concussion for the game against the Packers. And Russell Wilson hasn't benched. Stafford has not won MVP before. No. First, we fired Glenn or Moore. Oh, easily Glenn. Kellen Moore inherited a crap situation. He'll have at least 3 years with the Saints. Glenn, he might be on borrowed time. Who starts instead of Chef Jameis? Well, Dart's going to start once he's healthy. Rams line starts in the NFC. I can see that. I can see that. Also, the Eagles, if Patullo ever gets his act together, they got the talent. Coach John should hire us in Detroit. Yep. Yes, he is. Very self performance between Colts, Patriots, and Broncos. I mean, don't count out the Chiefs. Never count out the Chiefs. Bills, too. I mean, the AFC is wide open. Since Jackson is out, who will start against Packers? Jameis. Jameis is starting. Jameis is now the 2. Russ is the 3. Dart's the 1. Dart is out for this week. So, Winston is starting over Russ. Oh, you can't read. Oh, good. Yep. That's the whole point of this emergency live stream. Yep. He had a crappy situation in New York. Yeah, but his in-game management skills have sucked. I could also see them potentially being like, you know what? We want an offensive-minded head coach. Like Kellen Moore, obviously, if you're the Jets, you do everything in mind with your quarterback situation. Everything you're doing right now is with a future franchise quarterback in mind they're going to draft in 26. So Glenn is not really an offensive-minded coach. Like, Moore is an offensive-minded coach. He can help out whoever the quarterback is for the Saints going forward. It should be a hoot. You never know with Jameis. The bakery is open. You never know. It could be a disaster. It could be great. You never know with Jameis. When Jameis says on that line, who's the 4th stringer? Russell Wilson is up next. And then the next guy up, I'm not sure they have a next guy up. Bills win a playoff game. Should fire McDermott? Yes. At this point, I think McDermott is kind of holding him back. I'm not crazy about his in-game management skills. McDermott, I think he's taking you as far as he can go. Brees, Fitzgerald, Witten, Franco. I don't think Gorgensen first ballot. I don't think he's a first ballot guy. I think Hall of Fame, I think it's going to be 4. I hate the new voting system. I hate it. I think Brees, Fitzgerald, Witten, Kuechly. I think Kuechly gets in this year. I'd be very surprised if Kuechly does not get in. Brees is a no-brainer. Fitz is a no-brainer. I think Kuechly gets in. Vinatieri is going to be close this year. Again, they really should just have the top 5 get in. It shouldn't be it should be top 5, 80% of the vote. Not what it is now where you narrow it down to 7. Because then they split the vote. It sucks. More likely to start for the Saints at 26. Wilson or Shuck? I would say Shuck. Russell Wilson, I think, is going to retire after the season. Count the Chiefs like people count out the Dodgers this year? Yep. Never has missed a hard shipping. Yep. The new voting system is what they had last year. So, it used to be go from 15 to 10, 10 to 5, and then with that, the final 5, it's a yes or no vote. You need 80% of the vote. But right now, it's 15 to 10, 10 to 7, or it's 10 to 8, and then you vote, and you need 80% of the vote, but you can only vote for 5 players. So people split the vote. So they cannibalize it themselves, and it's awful. 3 have to get in no matter what. Top 3 get in no matter what, but it sucks. It sucks. Adam should be in this year? Yes, he should. I agree. With the old system, he would be in. Problem is that the new system sucks. He owes me $300. $300 when Brees gets in this year. Yeah, $300. Which is a phenomenal deal. Where would McDermott go with the Bills fire him? I could see New York. I could see. I mean, he'll get a job somewhere else. He'll definitely get a head coaching job somewhere else when that happens. McDermott's the Marshhammer? Yeah. They have 300? Yeah. Yeah, minimum of 3, yeah. Minimum of 3 get in. So there'll never be like baseball where there's no one that gets in the class. There's a minimum of 3 modern finalists and 1 senior/contributor. So the problem, though, is that if it gets down to 7 or 8 people and you can only vote 5 in, but you need 80% of the vote to get in. If it's not 3, the problem is that, let's say there's 4 people, 3 think that Kuechly should get the 5th spot, and 1 says Vinatieri should. Well, then neither of them will get it because it's 75-25 also over the world. Yep. Is Burrow on track for Canada if it goes back to his old form? Yes. Goes back to his old form, yeah. Now we'll give a 2026 first for Waddle. We're okay giving them a 2027 first, so it's type of decision what holding Bills back. Well, I mean, were the Dolphins going to trade within the division? I mean, he's a young... I mean, Waddle's a great receiver. He's young. The Dolphins, it was going to take a king's ransom to get in the division. Well, Stefan Gino should be benched. Gabriel, yeah, I think Gabriel. Again, I'm not sure Sanders guy at all. I think he's not going to be any good, but you might as well just see what you have in him. I also say Tua's on borrowed time, although he looked good against the Bills. Right, it's way too soon, but obviously he's made a Super Bowl at this point. He's put up great numbers. He's on track, but obviously a long ways to go. Long ways to go. If you're just joining us, the Cowboys have been out of the playoff race for a while at this point, yes. The Cowboys are out of the playoff race. They are 100% out of the playoff race. They have no shot. Dolphins said 2026 first and third was a deal. Oh, wow. Really? That's all it took? I would have done that. I would have 100% done that. Bryce Young and Pat being done in Carolina, yes. I think at this point, Canales cannot keep Bryce Young. He doesn't have the attributes. The problem is I'm not seeing improvement. I'm seeing regression with Bryce Young. And he doesn't have the physical attributes. Like, he can't go deep down the field. Doesn't process stuff quickly. I watched him play against the Jaguars twice. I'm like, this guy's not an NFL quarterback. Yeah, regardless of results, it'd be an interesting experiment. Olga Michael, yeah, this is an emergency live stream. You're not late. I mean, it's an emergency live stream. I was never expected to go on the air. So, Glenn's not getting fire respect too much for the organization. We can't unless we lose out, even then it's questionable. Yeah, I think he's he's going to be safe. I think Glenn is safe for another year. The question is just, do you bring in, like, an offensive-minded coach? This was before they won their last two, because obviously the in-game management skills were terrible. It's 6 o'clock in the morning in Phoenix. Yeah, I didn't expect it either. I was about to go to bed, but I figured let's just hop on for a little bit. Where would he be ranked in the top commissioners? Probably 3. I think Goodell is 2, Roselle is 1. That's Tagliabue is 3. Just a fire fewer wins this season? Oh, I mean, yeah, I think it's not going to be about the wins. I don't think at this point it's about the wins. I think it's more about how he manages the game and will they want a new, do they want offensive-minded head coach? Titans fans asked their thoughts on Cam Ward. I'm not impressed with Ward. He's in a crap situation with a crap coaching staff. But I think if you're the Titans, if there's a coach that wants to come in and says, I like Ty Simpson a lot, I want to draft my own quarterback, I would let him. I'm not saying move on for Cam Ward. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that if there is a situation where the new coach wants his quarterback, because Cam Ward was projected to be like a second-round pick if he came out in 2024. So it's not like just like a generational prospect. And you've got guys who are, you've got guys with Cam Ward, got guys in this draft who are better than he was coming out of college. I would do that. We got 20 memberships. Holy cow. Anita, which game do you want? I'll get you on the call for it. Which game do you want? I will get you on the call. Who got these? Tasaka, Idol, Grifter, Jesse. Have a great day. Yes, absolutely. Oh, man. What a start to hump day. Holy cow. Yes, somebody Grifter got stuff. Iron Poco, Pups, Ben, Wexile, Liege, Sai. I recognize all these people. This is awesome. Ty, Trip, Raymond, Jenna, Jim, OJ Pimpson. I love that name. Jonathan, Sanders, Starghost, Joshua, username. I appreciate you as always. Which game do you want? I'll get you on the call for it. Kansas triple. Thoughts on Saban being the favorite? He's not going to take the job. No, Saban wants nothing to do with coaching in today's world. That's why he retired. He wants nothing to do with NIL. Got to draw Windows start tomorrow. Yes, we do. He wants nothing to do with coaching. He seems happily retired. There's no way. Make it competitive? All right. In that case, we'll throw it on that. All right. We'll make it competitive. Yeah. Make it competitive. All right. So put a poll. Yeah, I'll put the poll up. We'll vote in this one. Competitive Notre Dame, yeah. Yeah, competitive would be Notre Dame. Yeah, I think competitive. I think that the thing to make competitive would be Notre Dame. Not Ty Simpson because I don't like his deep ball, but he can throw the ball out for 50 yards. Yeah, he's got the intermediate accuracy. Somebody got the intermediate accuracy. Yeah, Belichick float up there for the Giants. Yeah, I don't think that's happening. I think at this point, it would be a disaster. Winston's maybe, yep. Winston season. Again, Russell Wilson benched. Jameis Winston, the starting quarterback for the Giants, while Jackson Dart recovering from his concussion. And when Dart comes back, quarterback 2 over there. Oh, man. Again, appreciate all you guys tuning in for this one. This has been not what I expected to do. I was expecting to go to bed at this point, but we are not doing that. Can we take the Giants over LSU? No, I think he's... I think Kiffin's not leaving for the NFL after what happened with the Raiders. But yeah, LSU, no one knows the situation at LSU. The problem with LSU is that it went from a great vacancy to a crap vacancy because no one knows like who's doing the hiring and whatnot. I can't believe 20 memberships. I appreciate it a ton, as always. You know, Saban, yeah, he literally had a great thing going to Bama. He didn't have to do anything. I mean, Bama, everyone came to him. Russell Wilson carried by Legion of Boom. I don't know about carried by. I mean, someone's like Brad Johnson. I mean, he was very similar to Brad Johnson on the Buccaneers. They're going to be great, yep. Deep balls and screen passes all day. There you go. There you go. Yeah, his rare tenure. That was, the less said about that one, the better. The less said, although he was pretty young with that, but I think he's got a good thing going in college. Got a very good thing going in college. So the Chiefs defense against the Broncos or Packers even Stone this man could whip 400 yards with 3 picks. Pulling on for this stream. Well, I was going to go to bed. I'm going to go to bed in probably 20 minutes. Mr. FL, let him go to bed. Mr. Unlimited. Shout out to Baseball Giants being creative with their manager. How? Yeah, first ever move from college to the pros. Winston, these are quarterbacks whose prime was a decade ago. Yep. Although Winston can do something. I mean, we saw in the Bronco game last year the ebbs and flows of Jameis Winston. When he's on his game, he's great. When he's not, he's not. I'm going to try something here. I think I can do this. I want to try something. I'm going to gift some memberships. I'm going to give 10. I want to see if we can get another emoji. We might be able to. I don't know. Throw lamp around here. Dark Mage, Zach, Alexander, and DeMar. I can give away another 5. I want to see if I can do this. Because we might be able to unlock another emoji. Hang on. We might be able... Please let this work. So I can give 10 a month. Yeah, he's better than dangerous. Yep. Please let this work. So I can give 10 away a month. Please. Come on. Yeah, if you just got membership, you get a lot of cool perks. Same age video members, only Q&A streams and emojis in the chat. Because that should get us... Please. Oh, I can't. No. I can't do it. Can't do it. Unfortunately, I cannot do it. I thought I was going to get... I thought I could get another emoji. Again, it's more of that. Yeah, Mike Evans, though, he's a Hall of Famer. Mike Evans is absolutely a Hall of Famer. So what is it? Yeah, we're at... I'm not even sure I can... Oh, I'm way off, actually. We're like 100 members off for that. We're like 100 off. Yeah, Yeah, I wish I could upload just the maximum number of emojis, but I think we're at 300 members. So, need 100 more. So, it was worth a shot. Sunset, imagine the Nets like I do. Yeah. Yeah, we're both on we went all in for Kevin Durant, did not work out. Just woke up. Yep, Mr. Krabs, I want to go to bed. Yeah. More off than I thought. Yep. Yeah, screw you. Yeah, because I was going to add a little princess one. I was going to add something. We have just joined us. Breaking news. Russell Wilson, benched. Mr. Unlimited has been limited to the bench. Jameis Winston, the new starter, while Jackson Dart is recovering from his concussion. We're going to stay on for another, I'd say, 10 minutes, and then I'm going to get the Raheem Morris dumb decisions out later today. No, DeBoer's going nowhere. No chance he's going anywhere. No chance. Jet State's the best place for Ty Simpson? I think so, too, yeah. I mean, the Rams would be ideally the best spot, because you could just develop behind Stafford with that coaching staff. I mean, the best spot is the Rams. But Simpson's not going to the Rams. He'll be taken away before that. Tom on Hall of Fame coach? I would say so. I would say, look, 20 straight seasons to start off above or at 500. Yeah, Russell plays final snap in the NFL. I would assume so. I'm going to put up a poll. Most of you agree that Winston deserves to be the starter. Will Russell Wilson retire after this season? I mean, I think barring injury or anything, Russell Wilson will never play again. I think Russell Wilson is done after this season. He's cooked. Again, he threw the OT interception against the Cowboys, that moonball. Against the Chiefs, got benched through 2 picks, including one in the red zone. He looked really bad. Then came in against the Eagles for 1 snap, 1 hop to pass. Came in last week against the Giants with a 20-10 lead and blew it. And he had a grand total of 32 net passing yards, but it's even worse than that. He was 3 for 7 with 45 yards and 2 sacks. But again, it was worse than that. One of those passes was a pass behind the line of scrimmage in the flat on 3rd down for 41 yards. Devin Singletary made everyone miss. Take that play out, because that was not him. That was all yards after the catch. Sellers, I don't know if Sellers returns. He could. Dante Moore, I think Moore comes out. Sellers could return. I think Moore comes out. You mean Danger Richardson's are? Yes. 32 now? Yeah. But again, it's worse. It's even worse than that. Because one of those passes, again, I'll play the pass again, that inflates the numbers tremendously. Packers move on from the floor this season. Titans. Giants, I mean, he'll get a job. Dangerwich, it's a sandwich. Yeah, the ride is over. The ride is over. You know, you're good, Matt. You're good, Matt. I'm just trying to get to everyone in the chat. Will they cut him? Well, I think he's going to retire at the end of the season. They're not cutting him now. They're not going to cut him now. But so, again, Russell Wilson, 3 for 7 last week against the Bears with a 10-point lead. 45 yards, 32 net with 2 sacks. But it's even worse than that. You might be saying that's not terrible. One of the passes was this. All right? This went for 41 yards. Oh, he's not going undrafted. Nelson Meyer will not go undrafted. I think he'll be a day 2 pick. His stock has fallen. Your 32 net means you're cooked. And again, it's even worse than that. This went for 41 yards. Obviously, this had nothing to do with Russell Wilson. Right, even Mike Lloyd was less cooked. And this went for 41 yards. Take that play out because obviously, I can't trade until the offseason. The trade deadline is coming on. If you take that pass out, which obviously was behind the line of scrimmage on 3rd down, was all the running back yard after the catch. Russ was 2 for 6 with -4 net passing yards. Or excuse me, not -4 net passing yards. -9 net passing yards. So Russell Wilson up 20-10. Take that pass in the flat out. That went for 41. That was not him. 2 for 6, -9 net yards. Combine that with the one hopper against the Eagles when he came in for one pass after Dart had that evaluation. Combine that with the Chiefs game. Yeah, it could be, Dexy. He could be. Yeah, no, I don't think he gets a job after the season. I think he retires. I think he retires at the end of the season. No one's going to take him. He's cooked. Combine that with the moonball pick he had against the Cowboys. Combine that with that game against the Commanders where he completed less than 50% of his passes. And in that game against the Commanders, Neighbors was visibly frustrated. 39-6, yeah. He had a 39-6 rating if you take out that pass in the flat. I mean, it's really bad. Russell Wilson had one good half of football. Yeah, the Denver trade destroyed Russ, yep. No, Mendoza, yeah, he'll be... I don't think it's a consensus one. I think Simpson and Mendoza are the 1-2. 25 for 40, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks, yep. That's Russell Wilson's bench, yep. Yes, it is. I remember that commercial. So outside of one good half against the Cowboys, against Eberflus's defense, he has looked terrible this season. He's been pretty bad since the Seahawks traded him to the Broncos. It's a DEFCON 1 situation. Russell Wilson is completely cooked at this point. And he'll be 38 next season. Russ can play with the Broncos still? I'm not sure. Against the Packers, it might be enough. Again, the Packers' offense is shaky. The 3 games the Packers lost, they allowed 10, 14, and 16 points. That's not the defensive side. You Garrett shades of Baker, and maybe the Rams like that. Maybe. The pocket presence wasn't the best. I mean, he spun into a sack, which was atrocious. There was one where he spun into a sack instead of going to his strong side in the red zone. I mean, the red zone offense by LSU was just atrocious. There's a reason he got benched for Van Buren. Come on with the fire. Appreciate you, man. Just woke up. Only got 6.5 hours of sleep. 1 to 8 a.m. and choppy. That's not terrible, but the choppiness is not good. Yeah, what do you want to vote? Yep. The choppiness is not great. Let Russ be cooked, yes. Let Russ cook anywhere else. And yeah, when the Natty would be the greatest story in college football history, it'd be up there. It'd be, for the job that Kurt's done, it's been a heck of a job. I'm rooting for them. It'd be such a fun story for that to happen. Be a really fun story. I want to see what happens this year. And obviously, we call all the college football games on this channel. We're going to be live for every playoff game. We're live tonight for Buffalo Central, Michigan. We're live for 3 games. Oh, it was bright. Ooh. We're going to be live for 3 games this Saturday. One of them, you're deciding with your donations. Notre Dame Pitt, Scar A&M, Michigan Northwestern, USF Navy. You got from now until Friday to decide on that game. And then we'll be live for Texas against Georgia and Bama against Oklahoma. Let us good for Sierra. Yep. 1-2 step. But not in the pocket. once you step on the dance floor with Dancing with the Stars. I'd see one Dancing with the Stars in 5 years. I could see that. Mr. Unlimited number of incompletions. Yep, unlimited number of incompletions. There you go. Yeah, we're live from action, baby. We were live for the Ohio-Western Michigan game, and now we're live for this game tonight. Love the MAC. Yeah, me too. I love action football. I love CUSA weekday football. I love college football. And we're going to be live tonight as well for college basketball. You have GTS in the playoffs. We run for Indiana. Yeah, I think most people will. They're going to be the darlings. A lot of people are going to be rooting for Indiana, rightfully so. No, I wasn't expecting either. I was about to go to bed. I was literally about to go to bed. Yeah, MAC was lit last night. Because last week kind of sucked for the MAC. But Ohio, Western Michigan, there were some good plays. And then Kent State Akron for the wheel was really, really exciting. Sarah was so marriage, yes. So we're live for obviously this. We're gonna sign off in like 10 minutes, I think. We're gonna be live for action at 7 o'clock Eastern tonight. We'll be live at midnight for Hawaii against Mississippi Valley State. And I should have the Raheem Morris video out. I was going to have it out before this news broke, and then this news kind of screwed up everything. But we go from there. Yeah, if you're just joining us, the breaking news out of New York. Mike Kafka, the new head coach of the New York Giants, his first move as the interim is to bench Russell Wilson, promote Jameis Winston to the backup spot, which makes him as the starter because Jackson Dart is out with a concussion. Yep, we're going to be live for the Hawaii game. It's crazy. We start the day at... It's just insane. It's just insane how much we're streaming. It's absolutely nuts. We stream for 206 hours in October. Like, it has been a lot that we have streamed for. What year for Indiana sports fan? Yep. What a year. Pacers make the finals. Indiana football is great. Colts, they're bleeding blue in a lot of ways. How's it going, ZJ? Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you being here for this one. Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, holy cow. It's not been a good year for my teams, I can tell you that much. It's not been a good year as a Jaguars fan. / D-backs fan, with Cattell Barte potentially getting traded now, which would suck. Which would absolutely suck. Yeah, now Pacers have a stroke this other year. Yep, with Halliburton out. That was probably the worst loss in NBA history. I don't think that's an exaggeration or recency bias to say. Yeah, pick 6 fast start for the Giants. Yep. I don't think that's an exaggeration to say. I have Starbucks on $3. I do not drink caffeine. No energy drinks, no caffeine. I'm just pure energy. Like Information Society, pure energy. I do not do anything like that. But I think that was the worst loss in NBA history, the Pacers, Game 7. Because it didn't just mean you lost the finals, but also destroyed you for the season. You have a Hunter injury, yep. Yeah, and everyone knew he was going to be out. Rappaport said it was going to be like he's going to come back really, really quickly. I'm like, did you hear Liam Cohen talk in the press conference? It did not sound like that at all. All pitching to get me a rap considering all the streaming he's been doing. Yes. Yes. Yeah, living on Van Down by the river. Mets, Jets, Nets. Oof. But yeah, at least Florida. Go Gators. Go Gators. I will say for college sports, it has not been bad for me. As a High Point basketball fan, we made the tournament for the first time ever. And we're doing all right to start the year off 3-0 and looking dominant. You have to agree, full bias? Yeah, full bias. Yeah, I have to agree on that one. Have to agree there. Yeah, if you're just joining us, the breaking news out of New York. New quarterback for the Giants is the former first overall pick, the 11th year man, Jameis Winston. He will start against the Packers. We'll talk about this for another 5 more minutes, then we'll hop off. And again, vote in that poll. Do you think Russell Wilson has taken his last snap? Yeah, I was thrilled. I was like losing my mind when that happened. And just the way it happened too. They were down by 16 in the second half, put in the backups. It's like if Vlad got hurt in that game, Cinnamon lost. Yes, it would be like that. Really, really bad. Really bad. Yeah, I was thrilled to see him make it. Finally get over the hump. And now it's like, you know what? Let's ride. Like, they're one of the best majors in the country. Which I'm really, really, really happy about. Packers can lose to Jameis. Yeah, they can lose to anyone right now. With the way the offense has looked and the way Jordan Love's looked, they can lose to anyone. The Sous Chef has become the head chef of Chef Russ has burned himself to a crisp. Yep. There you go. There you go. Pure Energy, a one-hit wonder. Pure Energy. Who's Pure Energy? Information Society is not one-hit wonder. What's on Your Mind? Walking Away. Think. They had a few hits. I don't know if the band Pure. I don't know if there's a band called Pure Energy. Dave Roberts, best manager of the Mount Arrow, aside from Joe Torre. I do not agree with that. I think his bullpen management leaves a lot to be desired. I think he's solid, but I think he's definitely helped with the talent he's got. LeBron would stop holding the Lakers hostage. Might be able to get more talent around Reeves and Luka to be title contenders. It is funny how that works out. Oddly enough, it is funny how that works out. Fact or fiction, Russ next commercial finds him riding on a lawnmower with Sierra yelling him in the distance. I think progressive. Maybe this one progressive. Bochy better than Roberts. I'm with you on that one, yes. Bochy's better than Roberts. Also, La Russa. Obviously, La Russa was not good with the White Sox, but La Russa with the Cardinals was darn good. If we're talking 21st century. Giants have a QB3? I don't think they do. Yeah, Pure Energy regards Starbucks, yes. But I was making the Information Society reference on that one. I don't think the Giants have a QB3. QB3 right now is Russ. They don't have... Usually on target with major predictions. Yeah, St. Thomas, they were darn good last year. St. Thomas is going to be really good. Yeah, Sarah declined with the quarterback. I'm with Russ. Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad, unfortunately, with Russ. He fell off a cliff. It's a shame, too, because he was going to make the Hall of Fame, and then he just completely torpedoed. What's our... Yeah, still waking up. All good. All good. Yeah, he was an elite quarterback prospect at one point. Now he's almost unplayable. Yeah, I mean, he was the favorite for MVP in 2020. Yeah, by Human League. Yep. No, it was not. Like, you think first half of 2020, you had to start him. JMU versus Longwood. I got JMU. But Longwood could be good this year. Longwood's always our Achilles heel. Yeah, Russ gave him nothing. He was one-hopping passes. He was inaccurate. It was bad. Yeah, but if you said to someone after the first half of 2020, will Russ make the Hall of Fame? 99% of people would have said yes. By that point, he was still in his prime. He made the Pro Bowl just about every single season. If you said to someone after that game he had against the Niners, through the first 7 games of 2020, he had 26 touchdown passes. If you asked someone after that game, halfway point of the season, roughly, is he a Hall of Famer? People would say yes, and then he just fell off a cliff completely. Yeah, Wilson will not do. No, not even close. Can't spell Jameis without INTs. No, you cannot. Chicago sports fan, yeah, it's actually been a good time for the first time in a little bit, oddly enough. Mount Butler cost Russ the Hall of Fame? Yes, he did. No, Voigt deserved it. I have no problem with Voigt getting it. With what he did with that Guardians team, which was sellers, and took them to the playoffs, won the division, I think he deserved it. I have no problem with him getting it. Yeah, 26 and 7 games, yeah. No, he was playing lights out. He was the favorite for MVP. At the end of, really like the end of October, yeah, Broncos were contenders with Russ. Now he's out of the league. And I believe the extension would not have been finished yet. Nope, it would not be. It would not be. It's crazy to think about. If you said someone for Russell Wilson after the first half of 2020, will he make the Hall of Fame? It would have been unanimous. People would have said yes. The fall off has been ridiculous. Only reason is because the Tigers collapsed. Well, also the Guardians had to win games. The Tigers had enough of a lead where, yes, they collapsed, but the Guardians had to win a lot of games to do it. And the fact that we're as good as they were being sellers is shocking. Like, it's absolutely shocking. Russell Wilson performance since 2022 will keep on candy. Yep, I think so. The problem is that 10 Pro Bowls, no one has missed the Hall of Fame with 10 Pro Bowls, but it's not the same, obviously. Bro, Tyler's doing MVP. Yeah, absolutely. It will not be close. It will not be remotely close. Schneider got Jameis for the 1 seed. I mean, I'm fine if you give Schneider it. I'm fine if you give Schneider it, but I don't think Boyd's like a bad pick. If we're going like, with that logic, Pat Murphy should have won the NL, but the Red Sox should have. Well, the Brewers were not expected to do anything this year. No, how are they racist to Canada? That doesn't make any sense. No, Murphy and the Brewers were not expected to do anything this year. But Francona came in second. Francona got second in the vote. Stafford, he's one of the favorites to win MVP. Absolutely. Is what happens in Bringing Story happens while I'm asleep. I go live afterwards, or I just talk about it on stream later that night. It happened with Dable. I stayed up for Brian Dable. I was like, he's going to get fired. I said after the Bears game, he's going to get fired. There's no way. And usually, coach gets fired. They announce him by like 9:30 local time. So I stayed up till 9:30 local time in New York, and he didn't get fired. I'm like, oh, well, I guess it's not happening. So, fell asleep. 2 hours later, he gets fired. I'm like, well, crap. So I just went live after. So that's how that works. Back NL Central champion is expected to do anything because they got rid of everyone. They didn't buy anyone. They had a lower payroll than the Rockies. Yeah, that's why they had a lower payroll than the Rockies. That's why. He literally was not expected to do anything. You look at preseason prediction for the Brewers. Do we ever sleep? How do I have the energy to pump out the live streams every week and day? I'm blessed to do this for a living. It's all because of you guys. It's all because of you guys. You guys keep me going. So. Yeah, if you look like ESPN projected thing for the Brewers, 80 and 82. Managed the stringent to go to a team with a low payroll. Yeah, but he managed his butt off. I mean, they got the 1 seed, or like they got it. Yeah, they might have to tell about how they spent money. Yeah, literally they were projected to be 500 this year. They were projected to be at 500. Oh, Stafford, yes. If he wins an MVP, he's in. At this point with Stafford, he needs MVP or Super Bowl appearance. One or the other gets in. Yeah, an MVP is more than enough. I mean, I think the only quarterback that has an MVP and a ring and is not in is Theismann. But he had a short prime. Like, he would be if not for that injury. He didn't have the resume, like, long-term. He started off late, obviously. He was a backup for a long time. He only started in, like, his early 30s, late 20s. Brewers, like, they did not cheat. Where are Trevor Lawrence at this point? He is not getting it done. He is not getting it done. Trevor, the problem with Trevor is, he's taking too many sacks. I guess, I know the line sucks, but his pocket presence is not the best. He's not accurate on throws he needs to be accurate on. He's making dumb plays. That contract, we're stuck with him. So I'm like, you know what, there's no point in crying over spoiled milk, or spilled milk. We're stuck with him. But if we could move on, I would. I don't think he's gonna get us over the hump. He's a bit of an underachiever. Poster boy not using the phrase future Hall of Famer. Yep, with Russell Wilson. Yep. I mean, he was. First half of 2020, 26 touchdown passes. 6 picks. He was playing lights out. He was the favorite for MVP, and at that point, he's a lock to get in. All the Pro Bowls, all the accolades, Super Bowl ring. He had a clear path to canon. All he had to do was just be normal. Decline normally, not fall off a cliff. If you wonder how much I stream, this is the breakdown by month that YouTube gives me. Jose Ramirez, absolutely, yes. Jose Ramirez is a future Hall of Famer. Yeah, this past month I did 205 hours on stream. So far we're at 81. This will be 82. And obviously we're not even halfway through the month. We're about a third of the way through the month. So be over 200 hours again this month. So yeah, if you want to see a breakdown of how much I stream, here you go. Because people do ask me that sometimes. And yeah, obviously football season, you can see the spike during football season. From 127 in August to 187 in September, 205 in October, and it's going to be well over that. 7 2020. He fell off. I say Dolphins to Tua. Yeah, but Tua's hasn't been clutch. Trevor's had clutch moments. No, John Schneider, they already announced it. He didn't win Manager of the Year this year. Maybe at some point he'll do it. Maybe at some point he'll win Manager of the Year, but not this year. Not this year. That ship has sailed. The second of 2020, he looked very limited. Final 8 games of 2020, 12 touchdowns, 5 picks. So, pedestrian. Pretty pedestrian. 23 throwaway chance Ryan had making the Hall of Fame? Yes. I think Ryan's a Hall of Famer if they win the Super Bowl. You get the MVP, you get a ring, you have those accolades. I think Ryan's got a pretty solid case. He's got a pretty solid case at that point. Sure, he's got no chance as long as he's in Canada. There have been guys that won the award on Canadian teams. Buck Rogers won it. Felipe Alou won it. Bobby Cox won it. Like, you can win awards playing in Canada. Tua's not right because of concussions? Yeah. Disappointing. But I think anyone says Herbert over Tua, I think it's hindsight bias. I did not think Herbert was going to come out of college. The Oregon ASU game, I got a lot of Blaine Gabbert vibes out of Herbert. I was like, I'm not sure this guy's going to be any good. Obviously, proved me wrong, but I was not high on Tua, but I was not high on Herbert either. I like Ryan Studio. I like him. I think I like him a lot as an analyst, like in the booth. But I also like him a lot in the studio. I think he's very natural. It's very, very natural. And how does that expose anything? Shanahan won Manager of the Year this year because the Blue Jays went 9-4-68, improving on their record by 20 wins. Yeah, he was impressive. I think a lot of that, too, was the hitting coach. I mean, they changed their entire hitting coach. The entire strategy. I mean, I'm fine with Voigt winning the award. I'm also fine with Strider got the award. You can go either way on that one. I have no problem either way on that. I think the job that the guards did, so they sold at the deadline and were not expected to do anything this year, the job they did was impressive. Jim Marshall, he is not in the Hall of Fame. And he passed away a couple months ago, which sucks. Because he'll never get to see himself get inducted. Jim Marshall should be a Hall of Famer. He was an Iron Man, part of the Purple People Eaters, phenomenal player. He should be in. The fact that he's not is a crying shame. And when he gets in, it's still going to be a crying shame that he didn't get to see himself get inducted while he was alive. Because he deserved it. If not for that play, he's in. I'm convinced 100% he's in without that play. Yeah, depleted bullpen, yeah, because the closer is a moron. That's also true. You had to navigate that scandal. Had to navigate that entire scandal. Like, not only were you sellers, but you had to navigate one of the worst scandals in the history of baseball. And you had to come back and knock off a Tigers team that a lot of people had winning the AL. It's just insane what the job that he did. All right, last call. Last call for anything. I think so. I honestly think he was. Kept out because of that goof play. I think he'd be in if not for that, because most voters only recognize him for that. But he was a phenomenal player. I mean, he was an anchor on a team that made a crap ton of Super Bowls. Maybe the offseason. There's no way he didn't know what was going on. Like, he started 277 games. He was an Iron Man, the likes of which we'll never see again for that position. He was one of the top players all time in sacks when he retired. By the time he retired, he was third all time in sacks. Like, he should be in. It's crazy that he's not. Yeah, that'd be a cool video at some point. But, alright, so here's the game plan. Video hopefully dropping later today. Again, this kind of threw things off. But hopefully new video dropping later today with the Game Morris some decision. Worst case, it comes out tomorrow. We will go live tonight for the Buffalo CMU game. And we will also go live for the Hawaii basketball game at midnight. So appreciate you guys tuning in. JG9 signing off. Again, the breaking news. Russell Wilson benched. Jameis Winston. Let's ride. As the new starting quarterback for the time being, with Jackson Dart out for the New York Football Giants. Take care. See you guys